with full coverage of the Auburn Tigers,
Touchdown, Auburn!
the Alabama Crimson Tide,
Off to the inside, intercepted Alabama. Touchdown!
and everything college and high school sports. Now, let's join Andy, Brett, Randy, and Luke for this edition of Sports Blitz Live.
Hello again, everyone, and good Tuesday evening. Welcome into this, the latest edition of Sports Blitz Live. I am Andy Graham alongside Luke Robinson. We'll be with you for the next couple of hours, taking your comments, taking your phone calls, 256-234-6221. Let us know what's on your mind. We're talking about everything going on in the world of sports. Of course, we'll focus mainly on college football. That is what's most important, but basketball begins tonight. For the Auburn Tigers, they'll tip off, I guess, in about an hour against Baylor out in South Dakota, of all places. But nonetheless, that top 20 team in Baylor, they don't bring back – I looked it up and was a little bit surprised. They lose their top 3 scorers from last year, and I think maybe 5 of their top 8, if I looked at it right. But you know they'll be a very tough team. They've been a very good team for the last several years. They rebound the ball extremely well. So Auburn got their hands full out there tonight, but it'll be interesting to see what Auburn looks like. 2 exhibition games. Auburn has looked really good. They put up over 100 points in those games. Will that offense translate into a real big-time matchup? We'll see.
Did you watch any SEC basketball last night?
I did not.
Alabama played, and
Was this an exhibition? Was this real?
It was real.
I
Last
did not
night,
realize
a bunch of SEC teams played. Georgia got beat by Oregon. I got to see some of that.
Okay.
They look fine. I mean, they'll be all right. But it's next year where Georgia will be good. They're getting some good recruits. Alabama look good. They're going to be fun.
Who did they play?
They played Morehead State last night.
Okay.
Now, Morehead State was favored to win their league. Their best player, and I think the returning player of the year in that conference, got hurt. He's probably out for the year. So it sort of takes a little bit of the shine off of it. It doesn't matter. I mean, I would have put Alabama up against a lot of teams last night. Alabama's got some dudes. I mean, they got a good team again. Now, the bad news is the rest of the conference is good. The rest of the conference is really, really good this year. Tennessee's awesome. Kentucky's Kentucky. Arkansas is going to do its thing. I think everybody but Georgia that played, and there were like 10 teams that played last night, won. And Georgia played Oregon, so, I mean, it wasn't awful. There were a couple of upsets. I know James Madison beat Michigan State on the road. I know Notre Dame had to fight scratch and claw to get a win over some dump truck team they played. And but yeah, it's nice to have college basketball back, definitely. But I was really, really impressed with Alabama last night. Grant Nelson, the transfer from North Dakota, he's a dude. He's a thing. He had 24 points, like 7 boards, a few blocks, a few assists, some really nice dunks. I was super impressed.
What position is he playing?
Well, he plays all over the place. I mean, he's about 6'9", 6'10", very versatile, hit some threes, got really sort of a more athletic Larry Birdish-esque game to him. Like he's got sort of Euro step sometimes. Not a huge leaper, but easily dunks,
Right.
and gets to the rim quicker than you think.
6'10", you better be.
Well,
Duncan.
quicker than you think. I'm saying not just underneath the goal 2 feet. I'm saying on the drive,
Sure.
beating people off the dribble.
Yeah.
And then there's Jaron Stevenson, the freshman, looked good. That really should only be a senior in high school this year, but he reclassified. Mark Sears looked good. Aaron Estrada, who transferred in, he also was pretty strong. So, yeah, Alabama was just stroking it early. And then later on, they sort of dabbled with the lineup to just see what's working. They played 11 people. I know one guy sat out because of an eye issue or something. But they played 11 guys and just sort of see where everything is. They got Indiana State on Friday. They got South Alabama on Tuesday. So they've got a couple of warm-up games. They're going to play Ohio State and then probably Oregon in a little mini tournament in Destin right after Thanksgiving. So and then things will really pick up. And there's Clemson, who's going to be very good. They got to go play Purdue, who just walloped Samford last night. And we all know Samford's going to be pretty good. Look, they're not going to win the national championship or anything, but Bucky Ball up there, I mean, he's got them playing really well. and Purdue just waxed the floor with them.
Dude's been good for a while now.
Yeah, Purdue brings back Zach Edey, and, the 7'13" giant
Monster,
human
yeah.
being. So, yeah, he's incredible.
Alabama gets a big win over LSU over the weekend, of course. Auburn gets a win over Vanderbilt. We'll take a look at what happened in the SEC as well, as far as and we'll also, of course, look to this weekend. Some pretty good games in the SEC. Not a lot of great games around the country. There's one in the Big Ten, Michigan going to Penn State. That should be
At
very
11?
interesting for a lot of different reasons.
And it's at 11 o'clock.
Yeah, all Big Ten big games are at 11 o'clock.
And I know Fox is doing this because what they're really trying to do is make it where you just go ahead by default and watch their pregame show. I get it. I understand why they're doing it. I just hate it. I mean, how much better would this game be as a whiteout at night at Penn State? That environment is good as anywhere in the country, and I'm an SEC guy, but when Penn State's playing well and they have their whiteout, that's as cool as a thing as there is. Now, on the whole, it's not as much fun as SEC stuff. But for that one-off, when they play Michigan or Ohio State, those are usually the only two they get to do it for, then it's pretty awesome. And I hate that it was 12 o'clock their time, but I just can't stand that.
Yeah, it's not. Well, I mean, it is what it is. It's Big Ten football.
But what it does,
Love it or lump it.
what it does, it allows us to watch Ole Miss go to Georgia unabated because that game's at 6 o'clock.
Yes, that is true. As I mentioned, Tennessee goes to Missouri. There's another very intriguing game. I mean, it's not necessarily those teams are, they've lost a couple of games, but still, it should be a very, very entertaining
That
game.
is the battle for second place in the East.
It is true. That is true. High school football playoffs beginning this Friday night. That's going to be a lot of fun. If you got any thoughts about that, we might brush on it, but we won't dive into it too much. We got other shows for that. But we'll make some predictions, too. Came across top 25 funniest movies of all time.
I hadn't even looked at this. I can't wait.
But we're going to Who Did It Funnier? And
Are some of them remakes or something?
No. We're going to battle this out.
Oh.
One versus another.
Oh, I'm fine
Who
with
did
that.
it funnier? But I started thinking about it. And this may, during the off season, we're going to circle back to this because this almost, now that I think about it, this almost deserves a kind of seeding the top number 1 versus number 24 and that kind of thing and battle it down in a bracket because some of these matchups are unbelievable. I mean, I
mean, give me an example. I need to have one now.
Airplane versus Blazing Saddles.
Oh, God. Why? I mean, that's like choosing which one of your children you want to
Big Lebowski versus The Jerk.
That's
How about Animal House versus Monty Python Holy Grail?
all right.
I mean,
and look, I get why that people will have that close. For me, it's Animal House.
Let's say.
I mean, that one's easy.
Yeah.
The other two, I'm gonna have to think about it.
40-year-old version. Well, how about Anchorman? Well, no, I'll save those.
Save the rest of it.
I mean, these are just really
Because if you
really
start this
intriguing.
now,
Yeah,
it'll be 2 hours of this.
This is true. That was kind of the way. Yeah, okay. Anyway, so we'll talk about Michigan. I think gets informed by the Big Ten or the NCAA. Is it that sanctions are possible?
I think the Big Ten told
The
them
Big
that.
Ten said sanctions are possible.
I mean,
I didn't mean anything, but I think we all knew that to begin with, didn't we?
I'm going to say this again. Look, and I know there's some people, for whatever reason, Tim Brando's chimed in.
Yay or nay?
He's like, we got to have due process. We got to.
Oh, yeah.
No, we don't. We don't. They have done this.
Well,
they're,
no,
they're busted.
Let me play devil's advocate here. This guy is, the more I read about this guy, that is the mastermind behind this, and I use that word lightly, he is a lunatic.
Agreed.
So, to Michigan, now, he was on staff at Michigan.
There you go. Ding, ding, ding.
But did he do a lot of this on his own? Probably. Did he do it with the knowledge of the coaching staff at Michigan? Of course he did. But
You're saying, how do you connect the dots?
Yeah.
And I'm saying, this isn't a court of law.
But this guy is a certified lunatic.
Agreed. So
okay.
is Jim Harbaugh was going to sleep in a dude's treehouse during recruiting. He's a certified lunatic.
Yeah.
I mean, again, lunacy has nothing to do with it. This is completely illegal. It is against every spirit of the rule. And they did it, and they were busted. And then if you say, okay, this guy sort of did it on his own, I'm like, okay, I could buy it because this guy does seem like.
But see, you're conflating. Yeah, I mean, he did it. But see, you're saying Michigan did it. Can you say Michigan did it, or
I can say that he's on the sideline? He's on the sidelines of several Michigan games, and there's at least one instance where there's video where he's talking to an assistant. The play changes, and he changes, like he says something, and then he calls in something different. Right. Why would okay, I understand if you had a lunatic who was the son of a billionaire donor on the sideline. You'd be like, I got to let little Jimmy on the sideline because his daddy pays for everything. No. I got to do it. He's a lunatic. We don't listen to him. We just tell him we're listening to him. But this cat was making about $55,000 a year. He also apparently had a house that was valued at like just under $500,000. The math ain't adding up. He's also buying tickets everywhere that he can buy tickets, and he's attending games on his own dime. This is not adding up.
Or apparently paying somebody to sit in his seat.
Exactly. This is just not adding up. And if Michigan can't give any answers, I say you got to make some assumptions. I'm really sorry. And they say, well, what about the children? I've got an answer for that. The children can play another year. You can play at Michigan or you can transfer. But this year, Michigan ain't playing for nothing.
Teams have been getting screwed for a long time. I don't know why that should change now.
I'm all for changing it. As an Alabama fan, Auburn fan, we've seen some of our teams punished for things that happened years ago. And it's not necessarily fair. LSU they get in trouble. The basketball program gets in a little bit of trouble. Everybody in the world transfers. Some of them had nothing to do with any of it. It's not fair. Okay, so what we're trying to do is say, okay, you guys, you have another year of eligibility, and you can play it at Michigan. If you love Michigan, stay at Michigan. Or you can play somewhere else. No problem. Get the transfer portal. I don't care if you've already been a grad transfer. You have an exemption.
And this is the one instance where you could literally say, you benefited.
Yeah. And that's the other thing is, if I were a player, eventually I'd be like, hey, y'all, we all agree that this Nimrod over here is a lunatic, so why is he on our sidelines? And they go, well, he's been stealing plays. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's helping us win. Now, again, it's this the thing that I always come back to is the teams that get caught doing this kind of thing are the ones that don't even need to do it. Now, maybe it gets Michigan over the top, but they're a good team. They're a really good team without this.
We're about to Bill Clinton this thing, though. We're about to – what is?
Yeah.
What is? No, what do you mean stealing something? What is that? I mean, can you break it down for me? Yeah, when you send somebody to go break – well, what if he was just in attendance? Do you have a receipt? And apparently he was using, like, university credit cards and things like this. This is the epitome of failure to monitor.
Yeah, that's true.
To me, and so, again, I don't understand – why Michigan can't be punished for this. And I'm talking about punished immediately. The benefits of his doing this are immediate. The consequences of his being caught should be immediate. That's my take on it. Again, and we'll get into targeting later for another reason. That's why I hate the targeting rule of if you get caught targeting in the second half of a game, you have to miss the next half of the first game. And that even counts if you target in the last game of your bowl game. Then you got to miss the first half of the next year. That is the most ridiculous, asinine thing we can possibly do, yet we do it. So I think something that's less ridiculous is to say, Michigan, you're cold busted. You can't play for a championship. Now, in the effort to make it fair for the kids that are on this team and give them a chance to play for a champion if they want to, they can A, stay at Michigan. They can B, transfer somewhere else, be eligible immediately, no questions asked, transfer to Alabama, transfer to Ohio State, transfer to USC, wherever you want to go. Or you can stay, or you can just leave. You can do whatever you want. But that's my give back to the kids so that they aren't punished.
If you dig into the receipts deep enough, you'll find destiny on one of these road trips, I'm sure. Don't go anywhere. We got to take a break, but we'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Sportz Auto Sales, Highway 280 in Kellyton, Alabama, is home-owned and home-operated. If you're looking for tires, they have it. If you're looking for a vehicle, they have them. Great selection. Always out looking for more just for you, the customer. And if you're looking for service, whether you buy the vehicle from them or whether you buy the vehicle somewhere else, they do service work and got a great crew there. Keep us in mind. Don't you go by Sportz Auto Sales on Highway 280 in Kellyton today.
What's the verdict?
Can't fix your heat pump. Need a new one.
Uh-oh. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking Daikin.
Call on Kevin Kill in Sunshine Heating and Air at 256-825-4849, Central Alabama's premier Daikin dealer.
So what's he thinking?
Oh, he's thinking Daikin.
Daikin, one of the top selling in the world.
Now I'm thinking Daikin.
Daikin. Comfort for life.
Russell Do-It Center and building supply stores have the tools and materials to get the job done right, whether you're a professional contractor or just a weekend do-it-yourselfer. With everyday customer conveniences like a drive-through lumberyard, price match promise, and our Best Rewards program, each of our 9 locations offer top brands and building materials like lumber, hardware, tools, paint, lawn and garden, and much more. Visit today and see what Russell Do-It Center and Building Supply can help you build tomorrow.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro continues to excel in making sure our clients have a smooth and pleasant experience with home financing needs. Families are struggling to make ends meet due to price increases and high interest rates on credit cards. Monthly debt can cripple a family from enjoying the special times in life. Property values are holding strong, and now is the time to take advantage of the equity in your home, saving hundreds of dollars a month. No money out of pocket and no payment until January 2024. Call the Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro today.
The coast is here. Wharf Casual Seafood is serving up all your favorites: shrimp and grits, po' boys, tacos, seafood platters, and so much more. Don't miss out on our famous loaded fried green tomatoes. Wharf Casual Seafood is located on Highway 280 next to Regions Bank.
Hello, I'm Karen Chanel, your State Farm agent in Alexander City, Alabama, and the greater Lake Martin area. I want to talk to you a little bit today about your discounts. How many of you are entitled to discounts that you may or may not be receiving? One of the easiest discounts on your homeowner's insurance is that of having a fire extinguisher. Coupled with a deadbolt lock and a smoke alarm, that gives you an automatic discount on your homeowner's policy.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area a team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice. Bice Motors.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you, just getting started on this edition on Tuesday. Thank you so much for being with us. Brought to you each and every Tuesday by JR Sports Bar and Grill. Wonderful place to have lunch or dinner right here in downtown Alexander City. They are celebrating 25 years in business here in the local market. Great food, great people, great atmosphere. Go and check out JR Sports Bar and Grill if you get a chance this week. Again, Alabama with the big win over LSU on Saturday night. Were you in attendance for this one?
I was not. I hate to say this because Nick Saban's a lot older than me, but, I mean, that's just a little late for my liking.
6:45 is a late game. It does wear on you after a while. But this game, very entertaining in the first half. It went back and forth. In the second half, hey, you brought it up. We'll talk about it. I mean, the play that everybody was talking about after the game. I think Alabama wins the game regardless. But you take out their best player, It only cost you 15 yards. I mean, it was what it was.
It's football. I mean, again, in my perfect world, that wouldn't even be roughing the passer, but I get it. I get why they call it, because they are trying to protect the quarterbacks, and that trickles down from the NFL on down, because the quarterbacks are what sells the game. And, you know, I definitely would still not call it targeting. I understand. I mean, I've gone head-to-head with some people about this, but then, much to my shock, T-Bob Hebert, who has been, you know, has played at LSU, very pro-LSU, has a show after the game of every LSU game. His co-host was just railing on Dallas Turner, and he said, "It wasn't a dirty play, dude." He said he got a good shot on the quarterback, and he took it. That's what you do. And the guy was like, why isn't it targeting? He said, "It's not targeting." He said, "If you want to call it roughing, okay." They called it roughing. And here's my other take. Even if you think it was targeting, and again, I don't. I understand some people do. I get it. Even if you think it was it change? You don't get 30 yards in penalties. You still get only 15 yards in penalties. Dallas Turner is out for the rest of the game. That could certainly hurt Alabama. But he's also out for the half of the Kentucky game, which makes no sense, but that's just the rule. And Jaden Daniels is still out of the game. It doesn't magically make Jaden Daniels back in. They still got Garrett Nussmeier coming in, who was not very good. So the deal was cut. And we all deal with injuries. You think I like seeing Tua writhe around on Starkville's grass at Mississippi State when he hurt his hip? It happens. It just is football. It's a violent sport. You're going to get hurt. And, yeah, it's just the way it is. I'm totally fine no targeting. Would have been fine with no roughing, because I've seen hits like that several times. But I understand now that you are going to get called for roughing on that. And the other thing, and this is what I tweeted out immediately, where was all this, oh, God, we got to save the kids last year when Bryce Young got hit right in the face mask, helmet to face mask, and they determined it wasn't targeting. I was like, if that's not targeting, this isn't targeting. And I'm fine with that. Don't get me wrong. But where was all this last year? They reviewed the one last year and said, that's just not targeting. Again, if we could put the video up, you'd go, yeah, that's targeting. But apparently it wasn't. And I'm going to say this again. First of all, I hope Jaden Daniels is okay. I hope he plays the rest of the year. I would like to see him in New York for the Heisman. He was amazing. He really was tough. I mean, he has played a lot better than I thought he was going to. I thought he'd be the best quarterback in the league. I didn't know he'd be this good. I hope he has a good NFL career. And also after the game, he and Dallas Turner met up, hugged. Everything was fine. I just don't understand the visceral reaction from everybody, because what exactly are you saying should change? If they do call it targeting, like I said, okay, you still only get 15 yards because they called roughing the passer. So you only get 15 yards. You don't get 30. The only difference is Dallas Turner is out for the rest of this game, which was about 10 minutes left in the fourth, and the first half of the Kentucky game, which, okay, I mean, we could get by without Dallas Turner. I don't want to. We could get by without it. So I'm just curious what everybody thinks would have changed. And if he was trying to hurt the quarterback, Lord have mercy, why didn't he do it in the first half? Because that guy was carving us up like a Thanksgiving turkey.
Yeah.
So, again, tell me where I'm wrong.
I don't think you're wrong. I mean, look, Nick Fairley, this is why they changed the rule. Because Nick Fairley about killed people. And it was legal back then. But they made that play illegal. You cannot drive the quarterback into the ground.
And they called that.
Everybody knows that.
They called that.
It was unquestionably roughing the passer. You cannot argue against that. That's fine. I'd be okay either way. If they called it targeting, if they don't. I don't want to see that play called targeting, because that is an old-fashioned football play. Look, we get into this sissification of football. Go ask Joe Montana and Dan Marino and
ask Steve Berline.
Ask somebody and Jim McMahon about what defensive linemen used to do to quarterbacks. It was criminal. So, but you're right. I mean, you got to protect the quarterback. I hated to see Jalen Daniels, but if it was Auburn and somebody had an opportunity to take Jalen Milroe out like that, and it only cost you 15 yards,
my pushback, you're saying take him out as if the intent was to take him out. I think the intent is to hit him as hard as you can because that's what football players do.
But that's the intent of the goal.
Yeah.
Defensive linemen have been trying to take out quarterbacks since football began.
And again, I don't think that makes him nefarious.
I'm not saying there was a bounty on his head, but Dallas Turner clearly, I mean, how many quarterbacks has he driven into the ground like that this year?
Well, just this one, but last year, of course, he hit Quinn Ewers, and again,
again, it was a penalty.
And it was
the
penalty.
exact same thing.
It was pretty much the same play.
And what did he do? He knocked him out of the game.
But my point is this, that, you know, part of me, especially on the Quinn Ewers one, I thought Quinn Ewers sort of jumped up to throw it. Dallas went after to tackle him. And here's what if Dallas just breaks down? And what if instead of Quinn Ewers, it is Jaden Daniels, he jukes him and he goes by him for 10 yards. Everybody's like, you got to hit the guy. You know, some of these players.
Hitting him would have been a fine. But he grabbed him and he drove all of his weight into the ground.
Agreed with all that.
You can't do that.
I agree
But it worked out well for Alabama both times.
Well, I don't think it would have mattered in this game. Because this game was
lost. It would
lost.
have mattered against Texas.
Against Texas probably would have mattered. But in this game, but again, you know, are we going to go back now about every game where somebody was hurt? Because how many times has somebody benefited from an Alabama guy that was hurt? You know what I mean? So
again, specific injuries happen. You're right, but this is a very specific type of hit on a quarterback. And again, I used to love to see it when Nick Fairley did it. But once they said it was illegal, I mean, you do it. I mean, look, and I'm not saying Dallas Turner's a bad guy. I'm not saying he's an evil guy. I'm saying he's a really good football player, and he's a tough, hard-nosed, kind of throwback kind of guy. And as you said it, if you get a chance to hit the quarterback, take a shot, you take it.
Well, I didn't say it. T-Bob Hebert said it.
If you well, you repeated it.
Yeah.
If you cost you 15 yards, so be it.
Yeah, and again, I'm fine with it. I don't think it would have mattered, especially in this game. That game was lost the moment Mason Taylor, who was the hero of last year's game.
It's not a 3-score win for Alabama.
Well, it's only a 2-score anyway.
It's 40. Well, yeah, okay.
42-20. But I mean, what would have happened though? Because it doesn't make LSU's defense any better, and they weren't stopping us.
No,
they had no shot, and so you know that didn't matter. When Mason Taylor dropped that pass on 3rd and 17. Or 2nd and 17. Then the next play he gets the pass and he gets a few yards up. I was like, if LSU doesn't go for it, they're in trouble. And they decided not to go for it.
It's the biggest play of the game.
They punted.
They had a hold on that series and a drop pass, and that was the game.
Well, and
2 plays.
The hold just pushed him back. But if the hold doesn't hurt him if he catches the pass.
Well, I'm saying, but if he catches the pass, then if it's a first down instead of just being setting up 3rd and short.
That's right.
So yeah.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. That's when the game was lost. It was who's going to break, who's serve. Alabama had a better defense than LSU. LSU was not stopping Alabama because, especially since Alabama decided, hey, you know what? We got a secretariat back there. Why don't we let him run a little bit? And so they did, and he carved them up pretty good too. So, and then the interception, of course, the interception. Boy, Jaden Daniels had a bad last 2 plays. Dallas Turner calls the interception. Alabama scores. Then the very next play that he's on the field, he gets taken out. And for everybody who is like, oh, God, player safety, and, think about the children, then I suggest you direct your anger to Brian Kelly, who put Jaden Daniels back out there, who apparently was calling, like, old high school basketball plays. And they were like, he doesn't know what universe he's in.
It was one of those situations where we need you. Does he look halfway okay? Yes. And then he went out there and they were like,
When he said, put me in, President Lincoln, you should have gone, no, he's not ready.
As David said today, he said, I ordered the cheeseburger. What is it? And they said, no. All right, we got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
SignSource is your local vendor for commercial and residential sign manufacturing and installation. We offer all kinds of lighted and non-lighted signage, from retail signs, LED message centers, event banners, vehicle wraps, the whole spectrum. We also offer service and repair on existing signs, as well as retrofitting to LED or installation of outsourced signage. We have the knowledge necessary to fulfill all of your signage needs in the short or long term. Visit signsourcenow.com to get started.
Satterfield Outdoor Living is Lake Martin's trusted friend for your outdoor land and leisure needs. We're the region's authorized Skag mower dealer for residential and commercial lawns and offer all the small engine accessories you need with top lines of Steel, Echo, Shindawa, Husqvarna, and Metabo products that can tame any landscape. Satterfield is also your grill headquarters with Big Green Egg Grill, and our pros service everything in-house and back up all sales. Get the Satterfield Outdoor difference on Highway 280 right across from Tallapoosa Ford.
You want the best opportunity to be successful in life. You deserve that opportunity. Well, you just happens to be in our motto. Central to you, central to your success. Your future is right now. Don't wait. Make your dreams a reality by enrolling at Central Alabama Community College. Register today at cacc.edu.
Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center provides optimum care for the whole person. Dr. Dimo Popov specializes in the prevention and diagnosis of high blood pressure, kidney disease, diabetes, and acute and chronic conditions. Our weight loss clinic offers lipo shots and a guide to healthy weight loss. Alex City Internal Medicine and Nephrology and Weight Loss Center, where lifestyle changes are made.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Get a ghoulishly good deal all month long at Opelika Ford. Take advantage of spectacular discounts on their entire inventory of brand new Fords. Plus, rates as low as 1.9% APR for 60 months. Shop OpelikaFordChrysler.com. Get a ghoulishly good deal all month long at Opelika Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram. Get their biggest discounts of the year on new Rams, plus 2.9% APR financing for 72 months. Don't miss Ram Power Days at Opelika Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep Ram.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. 30 more minutes left in the first hour of tonight's program. Get your phone called in, 256-234-6221, or dial us up on the Sports Blitz Facebook page, that's Sports with a Z, and comment away. We are brought to you each and every Tuesday evening by Sunshine Heating and Air. A little warm in here when we got to the studio tonight, but, hey, the air is working. And you know why that is? Because of Kevin Keel and his crew, Sunshine Heating and Air. Give them a call today for all your heating and cooling needs. Alabama got Kentucky this week. Kentucky, coming into the year, I think there was some
optimism.
There was some optimism. You had Devin Leary coming over from NC State. There was thought that maybe he could maybe even be better than Will Levis was. It really hadn't worked out that way.
Well, frankly, maybe he's been at least as good. Will Levis wasn't great last year.
He was not.
Will Levis has looked pretty good in the pros so far, but yeah.
But he's throwing. Will Levis threw for more than like 180 yards a game.
Yeah, that's true. But they got Ray Davis. Look,
maybe that's all they're asking him to do.
You got the Schrader kid at Missouri leading the conference at like 919 yards. You got Ray Davis, a transfer from Vanderbilt, at Kentucky, second, and then a pretty big gap. It's going to be weird to see the top two running backs, all SEC running backs, be from Missouri and Kentucky this year.
Well, if Jarquez Hunter keeps going like this, he may catch him.
I don't think he'll catch him.
Against Arkansas defense and New Mexico State, he may have a chance to put up 400 yards.
He may have a chance, but I think that
I'm
in the
kidding.
end, I know, but I think that I'll tell you that Schrader kid's good.
Oh,
he
yeah.
transfers from like some Division III something. He's a player. Now he's scrappy.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to be an all-timer, but he's a good running back. But yeah, Kentucky is. You worry about the letdown. Obviously, the letdown game. Alabama's had, the Tennessee game, the euphoria of the second half, then an off week, than LSU, which, all the lights and glamour and this big story and whatever. And now you go to Kentucky, and it's not. And Kentucky's sort of, they're fine. They just had a nice win over Mississippi State. I say nice win. Mississippi State might literally be the worst team in the conference. But they did take care of business. They did go there and win. So this would be sort of make the season for Kentucky if they could somehow beat Alabama. They've only beaten Alabama twice. The largest margin of victory for Kentucky is 6-0 in 1922.
That seems about right.
But you would think they'd screw up and win one 7-0. They beat them 6-0. The longest winning streak is 1.
Yeah. Well, how many times have they played?
41.
Okay, so
it's 38-2-1.
I think Alabama's played Arkansas 40 times in the last 40 years, and they're 41-0.
Well, I'll tell you, you know what's funny? Until Saban got to Alabama, I think Arkansas and Alabama were tied in the series, and now there's a pretty sizable lead.
Yeah. So there you go. Auburn gets it done in Nashville, taking care of Vanderbilt like everybody does. You look at Vanderbilt, you expect the bet to be a win, and it was. Auburn is good. The statistics are very lopsided. The score was not as lopsided. It made it appear a little bit closer.
Pick six made it look closer.
It did. Take that away, and I think Peyton Thorne played a pretty good game. He has played all but 2 snaps the last 2 games. I think the quarterback shuffle is finally over. Thank goodness.
Well, Robbie Ashford's not even second team anymore.
That's what it sounds like.
Well, I read on 24/7 before I came over here that Garner took all the second team snaps today.
Really?
So
today?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's interesting.
That is, and again, I'm for it. I know there's some people out there who love Robbie Ashford, and look, he played at Hoover, so I have an affinity for him. I want guys that played high school in Alabama to do well. I really do. I don't care where you play. Because I'm with the AHSAA radio network, I do like it when dudes who played high school here do well. I don't care if it's I'd rather it not be at Auburn, but if they're going to be at Auburn, then I'm still going to pull for them individually.
What's the future?
That's what I'm saying. I feel like
should he change positions?
But see, everybody always says that, right? Everybody always says just play him at running back. He's not a running back.
No, I'd play him at
or
receiver.
Linebacker or safety. It's tough to go from quarterback to safety. It's a whole different type of mentality. Now, there's part of you that says, yeah, he should know what a quarterback is thinking. Well, if he knew what a quarterback was thinking, he'd probably be still playing quarterback.
Yeah.
He was a running quarterback. So, yeah, maybe he has good ball skills, maybe because he's also a good baseball player. So you would think he'd be good at tracking spheroids in the sky. But I'm telling you, I think when people just say, because people said that about
go
Jalen
to
Milroe
Alabama
too.
State.
I don't know. If I'm Robbie Ashford and if I want to continue to play football, if I seriously want to keep playing football, I would probably transfer. I think that's what you have to do. It's the writing is on the wall.
There's no chance he's at Auburn next year.
The writing's on the wall,
and
right?
I think that's good for everybody.
Yeah,
yes.
And I do too. I think that is beneficial across the board. I think Auburn gave him a shot. I am not faulting Auburn at all. I think Auburn probably took this thing too far, too long.
Let me recant. If he wants to continue to play quarterback, there's no chance he's at Auburn in 2024. If he decides, hey, I'm getting some, talk from NFL scouts to say maybe I should try receiver. I've got the athleticism. They think I could be successful there. Yeah, maybe he stays at Auburn, but that's the only way.
Okay, let me put it to you this way. For those who say just switch positions.
I'm not saying that flippantly.
I'm not talking to you directly. I'm talking to anybody who says this because I've seen this a lot. Number one, I saw him play at Hoover. I never saw him play on defense. Yes, prototypical linebacker or maybe big safety body, you're darn tootin'. That guy's an athlete. But you have to have a mindset for it. And let me say this. Do you think Robbie Ashford is a better athlete than Nick Marshall? I can quickly answer for everybody, no. I don't mean that as a shot at Robbie Ashford. I mean it as Nick Marshall was a freak of nature, speed-wise especially. Nick Marshall went to the pros. Everybody said, you know, you can't play quarterback in this league, but let's try and put you somewhere else. They tried to put him at defensive back. It did not work. It didn't stick because he's not a defensive back. He's just not. And it just didn't work. So as a big time of an athlete as Nick Marshall was, it didn't translate when he tried to move over. Now, I think he's
still playing in Canada.
Okay, but I'm saying to the next level, to this next league. Yeah. Nick Marshall's playing in Canada right now?
Yep.
Wow, that's pretty crazy. Is he playing quarterback?
No, he's playing cornerback.
That's wild.
Safety, yeah.
I'm shocked.
He's been playing this whole time.
But it did not translate to the largest level.
Yeah.
So,
right.
And let's also say, again, I think my argument still holds up in that Nick Marshall's a better athlete. I mean, I don't mean that as a shot.
I was going to say, we'll come back with this. Got to take a break. Think about this during the break. Who is the best player you've ever seen change positions and be successful?
Ooh.
Think about that. We'll come back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hey, honey, it's Mom. Just wanted to call and check in, see how everything's going. You'll probably say not to worry. Everything is great. But we miss you. I'll call you back later.
No. Everything's great. I love it here.
This is Joseph Dean with Alabama Funeral Homes. As many of you are aware, we had a fire that significantly damaged our facilities. We are in the process of getting those rebuilt. We apologize for any inconvenience this may have caused the families that we serve. I want you to know that we are capable of handling all of your needs at Frederick Dean Funeral Home of Opelika, which will be servicing Alabama Funeral Homes families. We can be reached at our same number, 256-896-4502, or by email at joseph@alabamafuneralhomes.com.
You've dreamed about the perfect house, a place to call your own, and a place to not only stretch out, but to grow. Auto Owners protects your house because to you, it's home. That's simple human sense. Happy to help, man. I was just over there talking to myself anyway.
Frontline Outfitters provides all your aftermarket parts for your cars, trucks, and as well as your professional tinting solutions for auto, residential, and commercial buildings. Frontline Outfitters also handles vinyl wraps, spray-in bed liners, truck accessories, LED lighting, paint correction and detailing, and much more. Make sure Frontline Outfitters of Alexander City is your first call for tinting and aftermarket solutions. Call us today, 256-409-8100.
Hillaby Towers is an affordable senior citizens community located in Alexander City on Highway 22 East. Spacious one-bedrooms are available now. Great location, peaceful setting, comfortable living where pets are allowed and utilities are included. Call today to find out more information on Alexander City's best-kept secret, 256-329-0552. That's Hillaby Towers in Alexander City.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. We were talking before the break, best player that changed positions either in college and moving to the pros and actually was successful doing it. We came up with a few during the break, but it's a short list.
Very short list. I think the one that's been the most successful, at least financially, is Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah.
I mean,
he was a good receiver at Texas A&M, and you know, all of a sudden he's playing quarterback in the NFL and leading the team to the playoffs.
Yeah, but he's not good enough to get them where they need. I mean, like, if you're a quarterback worth anything, and you've got Derrick Henry in the backfield, and everybody's crowding the line, and I mean, shoot, he had A.J. Brown and Julio Jones on the same team, frankly, and he's had now he's got Hopkins. DeAndre Hopkins.
Right.
Now, he doesn't have them. I mean, it's Will Levis who's going to be the starter the rest of the year. They just announced that. But, boy, I do hate that because, I mean, as a big Derrick Henry fan, I wish he had had a better quarterback to relieve some pressure from him because people just stack the box and, try to stop him because they know Ryan Tannehill, in the end is probably not going to get it done, and that's the way it's been.
Josh Reed was a running back at LSU, came in as a running back, moved to wide receiver and was phenomenal. I think, Reggie Torber was a wide receiver and came to Auburn, moved to defensive line, defensive end, and was really successful, played many years.
But I do believe Tommy Tuberville had a vision of him on the line.
Probably so.
He didn't think
that was more of a, he played wide receiver in high school, but still, you don't see a lot of guys go from wide receiver to defensive end. That's an odd switch.
Ezekiel Knight, if I remember right, did that for Alabama. He comes in as a wide receiver, switches over to defensive end, and was pretty good. Again, and I say pretty good, but, I mean, it didn't work its way to the next level.
Yeah.
Now, we thought about guys like Hines Ward, who sort of a journeyman on the football field. Like, he would play running back, he'd play quarterback, he'd play slot, he'd play
Cordell Stewart,
same way.
Matt Jones was a quarterback, moved to the NFL and was a wide receiver and had a nice career.
Taysom Hill right now for the Saints.
Yeah.
Doing some serious quarterback work. He's really more of an H-back or tight end. But, I mean, it's really hard to see anybody that's you go, okay, now maybe there's an example of a guy that played X position in high school and then he was able to go back to it in the pros or something.
Yeah.
But
changing positions in college is more in line with what I was thinking about. Carlos Dansby was a wide receiver.
Oh.
I think he was recruited as a wide receiver, but then moved to linebacker and was, has a Hall of Fame type career in the NFL. So
yeah, he was a great wide receiver. Now he played linebacker at I believe it wasn't he at Winona or was it Woodlawn? Woodlawn?
It sounds.
It's Winona or Woodlawn, and I'm having a hard time remembering. Maybe
I'll
Winona.
go with Woodlawn.
I'll go with Winona, but I'm not sure. Doesn't matter. But yeah, his wide receiver skills probably helped him out a little bit, but he transitioned to linebacker pretty quickly. But it's interesting because again, the whole reason we're talking about this is because of Robbie Ashford, and Robbie Ashford, who he kind of is beginning to remind me of is Jimmy Johns at Alabama. A guy that Jimmy Johns, they tried to, he's really started out as a quarterback, I guess, but then they were going to try him at running back. He did okay. Then they were going to try him at linebacker. But, I mean, again, it's tough when you're not set on something. It's one thing if you're a receiver and, can you play on the outside or can you play the slot? Okay. That's tough enough. But if you're go from running back to, I don't know, middle linebacker where you're calling all the defensive plays. Yeah. That's a big difference.
Wasn't he the one selling coke out of the athletic department?
He was, but I'll tell you, his redemption story is pretty unbelievable.
I love his subs.
Yeah, he has turned his life around unbelievably. I actually was lucky enough to do an interview with him, and just a really good dude. I mean, who has made no bones about it. He's I screwed up big time. But when you screw up, you hope that people can turn their lives around like he has. He's born again, all these things. So I give him a lot of props for that because he didn't. A lot of folks, they screw up and then they just continue to screw up.
We probably ought to do that and focus on that a little bit more. But I was thinking about that the other day because, Auburn always has, and I'm sure they do it at Alabama too, almost every game they bring back a host of, former guys and they say, yeah, so-and-so, yada, 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 and, he played. And you'll go, oh, yeah, Willie Whitehead. And then, and they'll talk about something. Well, he's on the board of, Alabama Power or something.
Yeah, I know. It's always something.
But you go, I mean, a lot of these guys became good citizens and almost solely due probably to their time at Auburn and Alabama under coaches who, I mean, I know we all kind of chuckle at that and wink at it and say, we bring these guys in and we turn them into, bring them in as boys and turn them into men that, that people would have some respect for. that actually happens more times than not.
It happens more than we know because we only hear about the bad stuff.
Yeah.
And, you know, I told this story.
And it's mostly the guy, and it's mostly the guys that didn't have these long NFL careers.
That's right. Last year, I went to a party. I think it was for Service First Bank. My wife does some work for them, and Service First is growing like weed. They're an incredible company. I know the guy who founded it, super dude, great people. And somebody that's associated, I think, with Service First now is a guy named Melvin Cheatham, who played basketball for Alabama just before I went to Alabama. He was awesome. Loved him from Louisiana. Just a great, typical Wimp Sanderson, 6'8", you know, could guard any position, kind of rough and tumble dude.
Did he have freckles?
What now?
Didn't he have freckles?
No, Melvin Cheatham? No,
Yeah,
he did not.
Did not?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. But Melvin Cheatham, and he walks in, I'm like, oh my God, that's Melvin Cheatham. I mean, like, I adored him. And it's like he's in Texas. He's, you know, he's on some bank board. He's got a gazillion dollars. He played in the NBA for a hot minute, but he made most of his money and that's the other great thing about going to college. Okay, so not all these guys go to every class but what they do is they make connections. Life's all about connections. If you can have connections instead of going to Harvard, you probably are going to be all right.
Yeah.
You know, if you go to Harvard, you might go up there. Next thing you know, you're in every protest you can be in, and you're arrested every other weekend. But if you just make connections, you're always going to land on your feet.
Apparently, I hate Asians too. We got to take a break.
I think we got a caller.
Do we?
Should we take it? Can we take it before we go to break?
Yeah, let's kick it.
Let's do it. Caller, you're on there. Sorry about the wait, bud.
Okay. I just had a couple of questions for Luke.
Okay.
Has Kentucky ever won the SEC?
They have won the SEC. In fact, it's a great story about how Bear Bryant won the SEC in football, and he was just, you know, ecstatic. They'd never done it before, and I think they gave him something like a free steak dinner. Meanwhile, Adolph Rupp won the SEC in basketball for the 912th time. They gave him a new Cadillac, and Bear Bryant said, I got to go somewhere else.
He got a steak dinner.
I'm saying a steak dinner. It could have been a couple of comic books. It wasn't much.
I think they gave him a watch, wasn't it?
Maybe it was a watch. Maybe it was a watch.
I couldn't remember. You know, I'm 62 years old, and I couldn't remember them ever winning the SEC.
Yeah,
it was in the 50s.
Yeah, it was in the 50s. It was a long time ago. I mean, I'm sure you know this. But little bit of trivia. The only SEC teams that are currently in, of course, I'm not including Texas, Oklahoma, currently in the league that have never been to the SEC title game are Vanderbilt, Ole Miss, and Kentucky, and Texas A&M. And that's not good company to keep. I mean, you know, look, Missouri's been twice, and they've only been in here for 10 years.
Yeah.
But no, Kentucky has not won it in this lifetime.
What was the other question?
Yeah, what was the other question?
Well, I was going to ask you, did Bear Bryant win it, but you already answered that.
Okay, I got you, yeah.
Okay, that's all I got.
All right, thanks, bud.
Y'all do a fine job.
Appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right.
I actually got a mention. That's nice. All right, we got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more Sports Blitz Live right after this.
It's truck season at AHSAA Automotive. New Honda Ridgelines, $349 a month. Ford Rangers, $357 a month. Nissan Frontiers, $379 a month. And Chevrolet Silverados, $399 a month. At AHSAA Automotive. Plus, you get a lifetime warranty, no charge, engine, powertrain, and more. It's truck season at AHSAA Honda, Tony Serra Ford, Serra Nissan, and Serra Chevrolet.
Whether it's Lake Martin, Lay Lake, or Logan Martin, boaters from all over the state of Alabama come to Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama, because it's worth the drive. With the best deals on unbeatable Suzuki outboards, Manitou and Landau Tritoons, and a great pre-owned inventory while they last. Alex City Marine is the pros the locals know. And no matter where you're from, when you're here, you're local to us. Alex City Marine, just off Highway 280 in Alexander City, Alabama. AlexCityMarine.com. You don't have to ask who, what, or why. Who's Diner is the go-to place for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Conveniently located at the corner of Highway 22 and 280 in Alex City. Who's Diner offers the best meals and the best deals in town. Try our fresh, made-from-scratch pancakes, chicken salad, Philly cheesesteak, or the Who Burger. It doesn't get any better than Who's Diner, of course, on the corner of Highway 22 and 280. Who's hungry? The same professionals you've trusted with your urgent care is now your primary health provider, Main Street Family Care. We provide annual physical exams as well as monitoring health conditions such as high blood pressure, diabetes, asthma, and more. All major insurances accepted, Medicaid, Medicare, and have self-pay options to accommodate everyone. See us in Alex City, just across from Walmart. Your care is our primary concern.
Main Street Family Urgent Care. Heal better, feel better fast.
Lewis Pest Control is now serving Alexander City and the entire Lake Martin area. They've been family owned and operated for over 60 years. Whether it's residential, commercial, or industrial, Lewis has environmentally safe products for all your pest control needs. Lewis Pest Control.
Lay your best to rest. Call the best. Lewis Pest Control.
Let Riverbank and Trust open doors for you. Whether you're purchasing land, a lot by the lake, or building or buying a home, begin with Tallapoosa County's loan experts. They'll guide you through the entire process, providing local decision-making, prompt responses, and the best real estate loan solutions for your unique needs. And in most cases, Riverbank and Trust can close your loan in 30 days or less, and they'll walk by your side every step of the way. It's all just part of the Riverbank and Trust difference. We invite you to experience it for yourself.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. I was looking at the rankings.
I was like, am I supposed to start?
It came back on me quick that time. Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live on this Tuesday evening. Andy and Luke here with you. Going to be a quick segment here as we close out the first hour of tonight's show. The new college football playoff rankings are out. Ohio State number 1, Georgia number 2, Michigan number 3, and Florida State number 4. Washington still on the outside looking in.
Yeah, a lot can change. You know, on Twitter right now, people are talking about, hey, if resume is what it's all about, and that's why Ohio State's better ahead of Georgia, then why in Alabama ahead of Oregon? And you know what? My initial thought was, no, Oregon should be ahead. And then when I look at the resume, I mean, again, Alabama's record 8-1. 3 ranked wins. Strength of schedule is number 8. Strength of record is number 4. And the key wins are against number 10 Ole Miss, number 17 Tennessee, and number 14 LSU. Oregon, 8-1 record, 1 ranked win. Strength of schedule 63. Strength of record 10. The key win, Utah number 18, Colorado, and Texas Tech. And when you look at that,
Colorado win ain't looking.
No. Well, that's what I'm saying. When you have to include that as your key win.
Yeah.
And my first thought was, no, of course I think Oregon should be ahead. But now I'm like, no. I think, and again, I've been making the argument that if Alabama wins out, it's a moot point. They'll get in. I really believe that. They'll push somebody out if they have to, because Alabama will have beaten, Ole Miss. They would have beaten Georgia, obviously. They would have beaten Tennessee. They would have beaten LSU. And their loss would be to Texas again. They lost by double digits, no doubt about it. But Texas is a top 10 team. They have been all year. So I think
what's going to be very interesting is if Ohio State wins out.
Yeah.
Then Florida State wins out.
Yeah.
And Washington wins out.
Yeah.
And Alabama beats Georgia in the SEC title game. Georgia's going to get screwed. I mean, they're out.
No, Georgia won't get screwed. They'll be out. And frankly, they probably should be, because I don't know about should be. Georgia will be one of the best 4 teams in the country.
I mean, as much as Luke Robinson likes to say.
I know. You're right.
The 4 best teams.
If it were my poll, they'd be in. Depending on what happened. Now, I mean, again, this is all pretending. I'm not declaring anything.
And that's a leap.
If Alabama
to say
were
Alabama
to
beats them at this point.
It's definitely a leap. I don't know that Alabama can beat them. But let's say Alabama beats them. Let's say Alabama wins by 10.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's say they win by a last-second field goal.
But let's say if they win by a last-second field goal, then, I mean, everybody can hem and haw and talk about whatever. But this is why I still like 4 teams, because it gives you something to debate. There's not going to be a lot of debate when, hey, well, first of all, we got to put Memphis in for some.
That's never good. That's never good.
You're going to have the best group of 5 champions in.
But I mean, come on. Nobody's going to be discussing that.
Oh, I know. Nobody's going to be discussing it. That's why it's no fun.
Well, it'll be more football, though. More intriguing football at the end of the year. How can that be a bad thing?
Well, the only way it can be a bad thing is if you're one of the players and you're like, okay, now I got to play a lot more games, and I got to play. I also got to play. My conference is a lot harder. Have you just checked out next year's schedule? Now, the SEC has said, I think, that they're going to put out the actual dates of the schedule. But I was talking to Jimmy on Locked on Bama today about Alabama's schedule next year. They open up with State, and then they play USF. Okay, USF isn't great. We know this. But they're a group of 5 team. They're not Mercer. Okay? Then they go to Wisconsin. Again, Wisconsin's not Wisconsin of old, but you travel up there, jump around. It's a thing. Then Alabama, we don't know when they play these teams, but you have Georgia at home, Auburn at home, Missouri at home, South Carolina at home. On the road, you're at Vanderbilt, LSU, Tennessee, and Oklahoma. And I said, how in the world do you combine that schedule to make where you ever have a break? Now, you can say, well, at Vandy you have a break. That's fine. What I'm worried about is they give me Vandy the first SEC game, and then you don't ever have a break.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, look at Auburn's schedule this year. You had everything piled up the first 4.
Yeah.
The last 4 SEC games, I mean, the last 3, obviously, are the easiest of the
But it's even going to be tougher next year. I know Auburn welcomes in Oklahoma.
They do.
But they travel to Georgia and Alabama.
I think we got to make a trip to Missouri.
When the schedule first came out, I thought Auburn caught a break.
Well, I don't know
that they did.
I mean, look, anytime, and Missouri's gotten better, but you get Vandy, Kentucky, and Missouri, you count your blessings and you move on.
You do, but traveling to Kentucky and Missouri is more is scarier than it used to be. I'm going to tell you. I mean, like, I'm not looking for. You know, Missouri probably has that quarterback coming back. I assume he'll come back, and then Luther Burden, who's I think is the best wide receiver in the league. If not, it might be Malik Neighbors. Probably is Malik Neighbors, but he's second. Luther Burden's a badass.
They'll probably transfer out.
No, Luther Burden won't transfer out, I'm afraid. I wish he would. If he does, we got a spot for you in Tuscaloosa, bro.
Well, you got a starting job in Auburn if you want it. We got to take a break. Got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. Hour number 2 of Sports Blitz Live is on the way right after this.
The Alabama Slammer. It's a popular drink at parties, but drink too many and you'll wind up in this Alabama Slammer. And if you drink and drive, get ready for a real Alabama Slammer. If you're involved in a crash where a driver's been drinking, you're 4 times more likely to die.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
There's only one clear choice in the Lake Martin area for plumbing, heating, and air. That's All Clear Plumbing and Air. Our professionally trained technicians offer full-service repair and installation on all major brands. From drips to water heaters, thermostats to entire air conditioning and heating systems, and everything in between. Our fast, reliable, and guaranteed top-notch customer service will keep you informed and up to speed through the entire process. Call us today or look for us on Facebook and Instagram at All Clear Plumbing and Air, 256-496-2056. License number 19172.
If you haven't been to Big B Barbecue in Alex City, then you're missing the best barbecue around. Big B has everything from the best pulled or chopped pork, chicken, and beef to cheeseburgers and grilled chicken salads. Bring your friends and family out for a great dinner and sit outside on our beautiful patio, or sit inside and enjoy your meal by the fireplace. So come in and join us and enjoy the best barbecue in the area only at Big B Barbecue, located on Highway 22 West in Alex City.
Happy fall, y'all! It's Pumpkin Palooza time here at Gorey's Furniture. Make a purchase, pick a pumpkin, win a prize.
Every pumpkin has a number, and every number is a winner.
Discounts include free delivery, 10, 20, and up to 40% off, and that's only at Gorey's Furniture.
Happy Halloween from Gorey's Furniture.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to Sports Blitz Live, hour number 2. I am Andy Graham alongside Luke Robinson. We'll be with you until 9 o'clock. Thank you so much for being with us tonight. Auburn tipping off in South Dakota against Baylor. Just getting started. We'll keep you up to date on that. But Luke, it was a fun weekend in the SEC. Missouri traveled to Georgia. This was a fourth quarter game. I mean, Missouri is not – they're kind of – I mean, you know, they had that little run. You mentioned it where they go to the SEC title game a couple of years, or maybe it was back-to-back.
It was back-to-back.
Okay. It was 13 and 14.
Because they played Auburn and then they played Alabama.
And lost both. But, you know, look, I mean, Eli Drinkwitz has done a good job. They are more talented than they were. It's taken him a couple of years. They took their lumps last year. But
they gave Georgia all they wanted last year.
They gave Georgia, yes, they did. They probably should have won the game at home last year. Georgia, with a little bit too much for them this year in the second half.
It's kind of funny. I mean, we talk about the Alabama-LSU game. I mean, if the game didn't change on the Mason Taylor drop, it certainly changed on the Terrion Arnold interception. And I think this Missouri game changed on a big boy interception. There was a pass rush that came through. The Missouri quarterback was trying to just zip it through for a little screen pass, and he threw it right into the gullet of the defensive lineman for Georgia, and he engulfed it and then started going back the other way. And he didn't make it all the way, but he started going back the other way.
Texas A&M travels to Ole Miss. This one I thought was going into – it was so fun. I mean, I was sitting there watching, and I had two TVs going, and I thought Ole Miss and Texas A&M are going into overtime. Arkansas and Florida go into overtime about the same time. And Texas and Kansas State are in overtime.
Yeah, it was great.
It was great there for the moment. So, but it did not work out that way for Texas A&M. They come down, get themselves in position. You can't blame Max Johnson. He had a great game. But just come up. Was it blocked or was it not blocked?
Boy, if I'm the kicker, I'm telling the world
it was blocked.
And then the Texas A&M guy, for all the talk of Dallas Turner, the Texas A&M guy just got up and punched him right in the groin.
Yeah.
He just uppercut him right in the groin. I mean, I'm talking about Mike Tyson punch-out level. It was like he was hitting a punching bag.
That ain't Christian.
It's not. Look, and what's funny is he's come out and said, hey, I'm sorry about that. Shouldn't have done it. I promise I won't do it next time. I'm like, don't say that part. I hate these apologies that are sort of, but I'm going to learn and grow from this. What are you learning from? You should already know not to punch people in the groin.
Yeah, that's probably good.
Don't say, if I had known that was frowned upon.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That is, that's a problem.
Yeah. That's something that deserves more than you get thrown out of this game. That needs to be you get thrown out of the next 2 or 3 games.
Yeah, and again, I think it's certainly, as much as I hate the targeting rule where you get thrown out for a half of another game, like targeting is not necessarily a behavioral thing. This is a 100% behavioral thing. Like, yeah, I'm not sure I believe you're sorry. I mean, the world came crashing in. I think even Texas A&M fans were like, dude, you can't do that.
Yeah. It was bad.
And it wasn't like it was in the heat of a moment. It was everybody had sort of separated, and he just comes up and just gives him the business.
Who was it Haynesworth for the Titans that just stepped on that guy's head?
Albert Haynesworth.
Several years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, just out of meanness. It wasn't really. So, yeah, you see that thing. You don't see it a lot, and that's a good thing for sure.
God, I'm watching the Auburn Baylor game on TV, and this gym in South Dakota looks exactly what you think a gym in South Dakota would look like.
That is true. Okay, we mentioned it, Arkansas and Florida. I was not expecting Arkansas to come in and win this game. I was expecting them to be competitive, but I don't know if it says more about Florida or more about Arkansas. But give them credit. They fired Dan Enos. They come back. They look like a completely different team offensively. They moved the football, and KJ Jefferson in the end got it done.
They needed to de-Enosify.
Yeah.
And I think that sometimes, when you fire a coach like that, it can be uplifting. I mean, obviously, I don't think the kids liked him. I just don't think anybody liked him. Look, Dan Enos is the one guy, if you remember, when he was at Alabama, he sort of quit in the middle of the night. Like, everybody shows up for the staff meeting, and Dan Enos just isn't there. I mean, and that's the kind
now,
of...
granted, if you had an opportunity to go to Miami to leave Tuscaloosa, you would, wouldn't you?
No, because I've been to both of them a lot.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm not a Miami guy. I can't wear all kind of robes and lotions.
Please don't put that image in my head.
But anyway, Dan Enos,
Wow, you were on fire tonight.
Dan Enos, a lot of Seinfeld throwbacks. But anyway,
I'm the only one that gets them.
I know. We laugh. I think once they let him go, and then you try this new guy who has no offensive coordinator experience. But here's the positive side, that the kids apparently like him. And I think that if you're just like, hey, let's go back to basics. It seemed like Arkansas was like, we're not going to do a lot of double reverse. We're not going to do things that we aren't. We're going to run KJ Jefferson some too. We're going to give the ball to Rocket Sanders a lot.
Yeah.
We're going to try and do those things. And then we're going to let our defense, which is playing pretty doggone well. Look, Arkansas has not quit. They didn't quit against LSU. They took LSU to the wire. They didn't quit against Alabama. Alabama had them beat down. And then Arkansas just hung in there. And
they've lost 6 games, 5 of them by 1 score.
I mean,
3-point game against Alabama. I mean, they had a close game against a very close game against LSU, a close game against Ole Miss.
And now they lost to Mississippi State 7-3, and you can say, man, that's just awful. And they should. You're absolutely
at home,
right. It is at home. It was awful, but I think that was it's not going to be their Louisiana Monroe moment, because Arkansas is not going to go on a big run of wins. But I think that it's one of those things where you go, all right, we got guys, we can't. Somebody's got to go down for this. And they decided it's got to be Dan Enos. And I think it worked out well, because Florida comes in with a new attitude. And then it's just luck of the draw that they play in Gainesville, an 11 o'clock game. We all know the home team at 11 o'clock has a disadvantage. Typically, especially if that home team is a favorite. Because everybody's sleepy. Everybody thinks you should still beat their brains in. We should have known something was up, because the spread was much lower than you would have thought it would have been, considering Arkansas just lost at home to Mississippi State. And then Arkansas gets up 14-0 very quickly. They go down and score immediately.
Yeah.
And then they strip the ball and score again. But then, of course,
it's tied at the half.
You're like, Arkansas just started being Arkansas again. But they didn't quit. I'm going to tell you, I know Auburn's a slight underdog. I would probably favor Auburn this weekend. I think Auburn's got better players. But here's the thing. Arkansas is not going to quit. If Auburn gets up 10 points, don't turn away, because Arkansas is not going to quit.
No. And here's a preview for tomorrow on the Auburn Blitz. I was bored and started looking up, and we got to take a break. But I looked at, in SEC play, Arkansas, how they have scored versus the teams they played scoring defense average, and Auburn and reversed. And when you do it both ways, it projects an Auburn victory 21-20.
Oh, my God.
So this is destined probably to be a game, it's going to be a close game, ugly.
Somebody's going to have
somebody will screw up and lose.
Somebody's going to have a clear pick six that they'll fumble, and the other team will take it back.
Probably. Block a field goal to win it, run back for a touchdown. We got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more right after this.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal. The encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. register for classes, and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
Sometimes the word tradition is thrown out there too lightly. But when JR's Sports Bar and Grill is celebrating 25 years of Lake Martin's favorite place for wings, chicken fingers, good drinks, and good hometown folks, well, you know it's a true celebration. All of October, come celebrate with us for 25 awesome years. Chris and Audra are so thankful for each and every customer that's become part of JR's family. Come all month long, see our remodeling on the inside, and stay tuned for our October celebration event coming soon. JR's, a true 25-year tradition for the Lake Martin area.
If you're looking for something to do in the Lake Martin area, you have to go to Liquor by the Lake. Liquor by the Lake is not only the best place to pick up your hard-to-find liquors and craft beers, there's a bar, an awesome bar serving up specialty cocktails and martinis, and the best bushwhacker and creamsicle drinks at Lake Martin. Make plans to come out for happy hour Fridays from 7 to 9 with half-price beer and cocktails, and there's live entertainment on Thursdays. You can even watch the Alabama and Auburn games and Sunday and Monday night football. Liquor by the Lake, located on Highway 49 in the Big Fish Complex near Stillwaters. Open at 1 every day but closed on Wednesday. Come see us.
They say we live in an age of big data, where computers and fancy algorithms are supposed to know you best. But at Country Financial, we know helping you own your future requires, well, something much bigger. Contact your local Country Financial representative and start planning for your future with a personal touch.
When you need an automotive hero, you got to call S&S Discount Tire Pros. With locations in Alexander City and Dayville, we are here to serve you today. From quick services like oil changes and tire rotations to in-depth automotive repairs such as suspensions, brakes, and tune-ups, S&S can take care of all your tire needs. You just have to focus on what's important and love the drive. Call S&S Discount Tire Pros today. We are automotive heroes, and we are here to serve you.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Taking you up to 9 o'clock. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us. Auburn with an early 9-7 lead out there in South Dakota. 15 minutes left to play in that one. I'm sure. Hey, just dial it up in your phone, or either dial us up on your phone, and you can do both. That's the greatest thing about technology today, that you can still get Sports Blitz Live on a Tuesday evening, no matter where you are or what you're doing.
You know, Nate Barghese, who was the guest picker for ESPN on Game Day this past week. I don't know if you know who he is, a comedian.
I have no clue.
I love him. He's great. He's from Tennessee. Pretty clean guy. He's very dry. I like him a lot, but he has a great bit. You're talking about technology. He talks about how, he said, if I was in a time machine, he said, I think about this all the time, and I went to the past. He said, I don't know that I could prove I'm from the future. And he said, I'd see somebody on a phone, they're dialing it and they do like this. You go, pretty soon you're going to have a phone in your pocket. They go, oh my God, how'd they do it? You go, I don't know how they do it. But and then he goes, I think it's a satellite. They put metal in the air. Are y'all doing that? He goes, what's a satellite? He goes, oh God, I shouldn't even said that. And that's true. He's like, I'm the only person that'd go back in time and do worse than I'm doing right now. I'd have to get a job waiting tables.
That's true.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, that is pretty funny. All right, Luke. I said we were going to do this. Who did it funnier?
Okay, I'm down.
We'll break this up and break up all the monotony here of sports. But this Rolling Stone voted, and these are according to Rolling Stone, the top 24 funniest movies of all time.
Oh wow. Okay.
Okay. There was a 25th, Superbad. That one, when I saw that, I started
That's recency bias.
Turn the list off. But
it's recency bias.
Okay, so I just went and because I'm a simple man, I just said 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4, 5 versus 6, and on up the line.
Fair enough.
Because that's the easiest way to do it. All right, so we'll start at the bottom.
We got to start at the bottom.
Tommy Boy was number 24 versus number 23. The Blues Brothers.
I personally go Tommy Boy, which some people probably find blasphemous. Blues Brothers is good and fine and iconic, but I like it more for the guest appearances like Aretha Franklin singing in the cafe,
John
things
Lee
like
Hooker.
that. And I'm going to tell you, the Blues
Ray
Brothers.
Charles.
Yeah, Ray Charles. Blues Brothers 2000 was so bad that I'm deducting points. But I mean, when they drive the car in the water with the windows down and just and like they just act
You
like
do realize that they jumped the car in the first one like over a bridge.
I don't care. I'm just saying.
Like the Dukes of Hazzard.
And if Caddyshack's not on this list, I'm going to blow a gasket. But I should take points off for Caddyshack too, but I can't because Caddyshack trumps it.
I agree 100%. Blues Brothers 2 is a terrible movie. However, the music in it is great.
Yeah, it is. But would you go Tommy Boy or Blues Brothers?
I'm going the Blues Brothers. I mean, look, as much as I love
Tommy Boy?
No.
Blues Brothers?
As much as I love
Belushi?
No.
Aykroyd?
No.
Jesus. The Blues?
The fat guy and Tommy Boy.
Oh, Chris Farley. Okay.
I'm watching the Blues Brothers 100 times more. That is one of my favorite movies.
I go the other way. I would if both of them are on at the same time. I'm watching Tommy Boy. Fat guy in little coat. Tommy want wingy.
It's funny. I'd rather watch Chris Farley do Saturday Night Live and do Matt Foley.
Doesn't hurt here so much, or here. It hurts right here.
All right, so we were split on that one.
When they were going, he goes, "Do you know how fast you were going?" I don't know. We probably clocked in around 70 when you were going 7.
Yes.
7 miles an hour.
Pretty funny. I'm not going to do it. Dr. Strangelove.
Which is good. I mean, it doesn't deserve to be on
To me, this one's probably kind of easy. Dr. Strangelove versus Raising Arizona.
Oh, Raising Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, look, Dr. Strangelove's a classic, but Raising Arizona's hilarious.
The thing everybody knows about Dr. Strangelove, he's on the missile, on the bomb.
Slim Pickens.
Doing the hat. Okay, that's fine.
Peter Sellers played 3 different parts that he was, really, really
Raising
good.
Arizona is unbelievable.
I would agree. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles versus Office Space.
Oh, man. I think that's Office Space and a knockout.
Really?
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is good. I don't know if it's one of the top 24 funniest movies of all time.
It is really, really fun.
It's funny.
I'm taking Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, wow. I'm taking Office Space, and frankly, I don't think it's all too terribly close.
Just for the scene of Steve Martin going to the airplane counter, that alone is funnier than anything that happens in Office Space.
Yeah, but Office Space is also so awesome because it did point out so many current fallacies and cliches, and like what was the place the place Shenanigans or whatever. You don't have enough
flair.
You don't have enough flair. Jennifer Aniston's in it.
Well, so I need to wear. Is that the minimum? Well,
yeah. You don't want to wear the minimum. He said, we missed you yesterday. You missed work yesterday. I wouldn't say I missed it.
Yeah. There was some great lines in it. Tearing up, destroying the copier. It's good. But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Office Space did also end up sort of help make The Office.
Yeah.
Which was great. So I know you've never seen
it.
And
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is one of the few Thanksgiving movies they're actually.
Yeah, that's true. There's about to be a movie called Thanksgiving.
I know,
that's
a horror movie. I guess it was
by Eli Roth.
It was only a matter of time before that happened.
Well, they're running out of ideas.
That's true. All right, one more, and then we'll take a break. Anchorman versus Step Brothers.
Oh, that's tough.
These were back-to-back in the rankings.
All right. The blankety blank Catalina wine mixer. I just bought a T-shirt with that on it, by the way. I'm going to go Anchorman in a close one, because some of the scenes in Anchorman, like when he throws a trident, you're like, Rick, you threw a trident. I've been meaning to talk to you about that. I'd lay low a little bit. You killed a guy.
Yeah, one of the great lines, one of the great underappreciated lines in Anchorman is, Brick, are you having your golf tournament again this year? No, too many people died last year. I'm going Anchorman.
I'm going Anchorman.
Step Brothers is funny. It's really, really funny.
It's really funny. But, boy, I think I'm going Anchorman, too, when he's standing there talking to Christina Applegate. I'm not even sure I can say this. I'm going to. And she goes, Mr. Bergen, you have a tremendous erection. He goes, what? He goes, oh, God.
I don't get a chance to go to the gym to shape my guns.
It really is funny. And like that motorcyclist kicks Baxter off and then the dog and the bear
Jack Black.
have a conversation at the end.
Yeah.
And see, I kind of block out the Jack. I'm not a big Jack
Milk
Black
was a bad choice.
Yeah, Milk was. I'm in a glass case of emotions.
Yeah, Anchorman. I'm beginning to think Anchorman should be higher on the list.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back. We'll look at some more of these when we come back. More right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All in an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell, and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today. Lake Area Realty at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Just about 30 more minutes left in tonight's show. Thank you so much for all of you out there being with us tonight. Auburn, I think 17-16 now, Baylor in this one as we are moving down toward the 10-minute mark. All right, we are looking at the 24 funniest movies of all time, according to Rolling Stone, doing a little Who Did It Funnier. This one, let's see, this would be probably 40-Year-Old Virgin versus A Fish Called Wanda. This is an interesting matchup here.
That's a 5-12. I'm going to go 40-Year-Old Virgin. A Fish Called Wanda's fine. I hadn't seen it in God knows
It
how
has
long.
been a while, but it is I wouldn't think of it as a hilarious movie.
I think it's sort of
it's kind of a caper.
Yeah, it's caperish.
It's funny,
rom-commy.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call it necessarily a comedy.
Just for, I mean, it's crude now, the 40-year-old virgin, but it's
good.
There are some just laugh out loud parts.
Yeah, and Steve Carell is great in it.
He is. Now this one, this one's a runaway to me. Borat versus There's Something About Mary.
Oh man, that's tough. Something About Mary's great, and this is probably unfair, but I'm leaning Borat just because Borat. Man, in that scene in Borat when he's fighting naked with the heavyset guy that he went on the trip with, and you see some of that, you can't unsee it, and it's high comedy. And then when they go, they go in Borat to Mountain Brook, they go to Birmingham,
right?
And they sit down, and the people really, I promise you, they thought that this was like some kind of documentary, a real thing. They didn't think it was part of the movie. These were not actors. And because they're still mad about it, I'm pretty sure.
Right.
And he goes in there and he said, you would be the most beautiful woman in our village. You not so much. I mean, it's god awful. But I mean, it's so it is cringeworthy awesomeness.
Yeah. Full disclosure, I have never seen Borat.
Oh, what?
But
what?
I would pick Something About Mary either way.
No. Something About Mary is great, Franks and Beans, the whole thing. But if you see Borat, I don't know. It's close. I could be swayed. I'm leaning Borat.
Yeah, the dude, man, the guy that pretends to be.
Yeah, that pretends to be the friend the whole time. He had a crush on her the whole time.
And he's like, my name's Warren, man. I deliver pizza.
Yeah.
They're just, Matt Dillon is hilarious in it. It all the way around. It's just when you first see that,
he said, "You can't call him that. Isn't that politically incorrect?"
It's a Farrelly Brothers movie too, so I mean they're pretty good at it. All right, here we go. Now we're getting serious here, Luke. The Big Lebowski versus The Jerk.
Gosh,
this is a wow. I don't even. I think I know, but I don't know now.
I know that one's tough, and I'm going to say, see, I've got a special place in my heart. I think The Jerk's the first ever R movie I've ever seen. Really? When I was young, and The Jerk came out like in the early 70s. I was probably about 8.
No, not late. Maybe
early 80s.
Yeah, I was going to think early 80s.
Okay, I might have been 10.
Yeah,
but I went to see it, and because my mom was a big Steve Martin fan, I am too. I've always loved Steve Martin. And
I was born.
Yeah, a poor black man,
poor black child.
Yeah, he hates these cans. All I need is this chair and this ashtray. I mean, there's a lot of greatness in there. I think I'm going to lean The Jerk, but I understand like the newer generation, and I totally get Big Lebowski winning it over because it's awesome too.
Here again, I'm going to say I like as a movie The Big Lebowski better.
Agreed.
But funnier, I think I got to go with The Jerk.
The Big Lebowski is better to.
I mean, the man invented a way to take your glasses off without getting them dirty.
Yeah,
but
he made it by
but it had adverse side effects.
It was it's an incredible movie. Madeline Kahn, right?
Yeah. And it's just Steve Martin at his best, really.
That's the thing. And so I'm going softy here. I'm going to say The Jerk, but again, if somebody wanted to say Big Lebowski, I'm with you because I love that movie as well. I hate I have to choose.
The Naked Gun versus Dumb and Dumber.
God, these are tough. The Naked Gun is so good. Like when you rewatch it, it is still so good.
Yeah.
But Dumb and Dumber, you can't beat that when he's like, he said, my hands are freezing. He said, well, take a pair of gloves. Mine are sweating a little bit. And then he starts choking him. He said, your hands are freezing. It is great
There's
stuff.
two scenes in the Dumb and Dumber that I to this day, every time I see them, I just cannot stop laughing. Number one is when they walk in the tuxedos.
Yeah.
And they're just messing with each other. And he just takes his cane and just
wallops him
from behind.
Yeah.
That, and then when he finds out, when he finally sees his buddy, Jeff Daniels getting with the girl, and he goes, there's just something about that.
There is. I'm going to tell you, that was Jim Carrey at his best.
Yeah, that's true.
When he's like, they opened up the briefcase, like the robbers finally get it, and he's like, all these IOUs. He goes, oh, those are good, as good as money. And he said, what is this, a Lamborghini, $250,000? He goes, I'd hold on to that one.
However, having said all that, I'm taking the Naked Gun.
I know it's tough
It's
not to
too
take
good. It's
and
too
plus,
good.
The thing that may send the Naked Gun over the top is O.J. Simpson's in it,
That's
and
true.
he's pretty funny.
And he's funny. Yeah.
I think, isn't that the one where he goes, you got something on your face? He goes, no, the other side, and like a half a banana falls off.
And they're looking up at the guy. Oh man.
That's
that,
great.
And that even the sequels are good. They're funny in that one. Hand me that urine sample, Frank. Okay. Life of Brian versus Spinal Tap.
Oh, Spinal Tap in a
blowout. I would agree.
Oh, Spinal Tap, when all the drummers mysteriously die.
This is 7 versus 8, by the way.
I know. He had that cucumber in his pants that was wrapped in tinfoil that set off the alarms in the airport. He said, you turn it up to, he said, 10 wasn't enough. We have to turn it up to 11.
But this is 11. Why don't you just always turn it up to 11?
It is a great movie.
It is very, very funny. And it's very original. I mean, it's unique.
They were doing things that people do now that everybody think are groundbreaking.
Yeah.
Spinal Tap did it first.
All right, here we go. I know this is going to be a runaway for you, and it is for me probably too, but Caddyshack versus Young Frankenstein.
Oh my God.
Now look, Young Frankenstein is hilarious.
It's good.
I love that movie.
I could see it in the 20s.
But
it has no business being in
Caddyshack,
this game. This is the group of 5 champion against the SEC.
You got a bad matchup with
Yeah.
Caddyshack. Caddyshack it's a Cinderella story.
The comedic greats that are in Caddyshack from top to bottom, unbelievable. And the fact that nobody stole the show. Like, they all, if you said Rodney Dangerfield was my favorite character, okay. If you said Bill Murray, okay. If you said Chevy Chase, okay. I mean, if you said Danny Noonan was really good. I have no idea who Danny Noonan is. You know, that's another shirt I got. I just got Bushwood CC, the red caddy shirt. I have one of those T-shirts now. I
gave my brother-in-law a Bushwood shirt for Christmas. Yeah, the golf club. But yeah, there are so many. You know, I've sent guys younger than you to the chair.
Yeah. Ted Knight.
Didn't want to do it. Thought I owed it to him. Ted Knight's brilliant in that movie.
He's amazing in this movie.
All right. Caddyshack.
The guy who was the caddy master was great.
Okay.
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Brian Doyle Murphy.
Yeah.
That's Bill Murphy's brother. That's
Yeah.
the guy we're talking about?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I love Rodney Dangerfield. You know, last time I saw a mouth that big, it had a hook in it. Yeah. But he said, keep it fat.
I know why tigers eat their young.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I bet you buy a hat like that, you get a free bowl of soup.
Looks good on you, though.
It looks good on you, though. All right, Animal House versus Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I mean, I'm going Animal House.
I would agree.
I mean, Monty Python is great, but I think Monty Python's great in little bits.
Now, I fought in your general direction.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And the Dark Knight, that's hilarious. But there's just so many different things in Animal House.
Animal House, again, a lot of comedic genius in there. And especially if you've ever been in fraternity, you're like, yes, a lot of that's kind of spot on.
All right, number one, and Airplane versus Blazing Saddles. How in the world?
How in the world do you choose?
This is correct, by the way. This is 1-2.
Yeah.
To me, but
I might have to put Caddyshack in there. I might do a round robin and just let the chips fall where they may. But Blazing Saddles, I'm going to go Blazing. I'm going to give the nod to Blazing Saddles because you can get in trouble now for just watching it.
I watched it I watched it about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It's still as funny today. And the first 15 minutes of that movie is the funniest 15 minutes that's ever been put on film.
Well, they say he almost lost a $200 hand card. I mean, and he's like, he finally saves the guy.
The Camptown lady.
He said, don't hit him with this. Oh, I got to. Yeah, I got to. I'm sorry.
Oh, and Slim Pickens is so funny, and
he's amazing.
I mean, Mel Brooks is funny, but I mean, there's just so many. But having said that, Airplane's one of my favorite movies of all time. Every scene of the movie is just for the simple fact, and these movies are alike in the fact that you had a grown man in Peter Graves who was the most serious guy ever say,
"You like gladiator movies?
You like movies about gladiators?" I mean,
you ever seen a grown man naked?
You ever seen a grown man naked? Yeah, hang around gymnasiums. I mean, it's the most inappropriate, and it's hilarious.
But that's like,
I just want you to know.
I'm going to tell you what I feel like. You know what was the old commercial? Like, if I just want to buy the world a Coke, I want everybody in the world to watch Blazing Saddles or Airplane together.
Yeah.
And I think we'd all go, we're all kind of screwed up, y'all. I mean, there's quirks, there's stereotypes, there's this, there's that, but let's all try and get along a little better. We all got our differences. If we can still have different feelings, different religions, whatever, but these movies, they bring us together.
I mean, it's just again, yeah, you're right. But my favorite, Robert Stack. I mean, he's so funny, but he says, I got to build this man up. That's the only chance he's got, to bring the. He said, "Hey, Stryker, have you ever flown a multi-engine plane?" "No." "Ah, good. Well, root him into the Hudson. At least it'll keep from killing innocent women and children." I mean, it's just so funny.
Picked a bad week to quit sniffing glue.
That Lloyd Bridges is beyond funny.
It is just like they all embrace these roles, and see, that's the thing is. When you have all these comedic greats that embrace the role and they're like, okay, I'm not going to be the star, but this is going to be awesome.
And Leslie Nielsen. I mean, and Don't Call Me Shirley.
Yeah.
And ride him into Lake Michigan, not the Hudson, by the way. All right, we got to take a break. We'll come back. We'll make some predictions right after this.
Hi, this is Brian Bice with Bice Motors. With our all-star lineup of Dodge trucks, Jeep, SUVs, and Chrysler cars, we offer the area team dedicated to making your next vehicle purchase a positive experience. Our sales team offers competitive pricing, and we back up all sales with a service department second to none. Bice Motors also offers the area's best selection of pre-owned vehicles. Visit Bice Motors at 2133 Cherokee Road in Alexander City.
Guaranteed lowest price. Buy it at Bice Motors.
Heritage South Credit Union in Alexander City is your community credit union, and they have been for over 80 years. Heritage South Credit Union proudly serves Tallapoosa, Coosa, Lee, Chambers, Randolph, and Chilton counties. From checking to business accounts, to share savings to club accounts, to their kids club and investments. Visit them online at myhscu.com. Heritage South Credit Union, your community credit union for 80 years. Federally insured by NCUA.
Planting season is here, and the Potting Shed Garden Center is happy to give you professional landscaping advice when it comes to planting your shrubs and trees. Auburn's best kept secret will have it all this fall. Mums, pansies, pumpkins, and much more. All an array of colors and sizes, along with beautiful pots and containers, indoor plants, and a great selection of other gardening gifts. It's all at the Potting Shed Garden Shop, where natural elements reign supreme. Located on the corner of Moore's Mill and Society Hill Road in Auburn.
Have you stopped by Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store lately? If you haven't, you should. You'll find great pieces for your favorite do-it-yourself project. Lightly used name brand clothing by Free People, North Face, Matilda Jane, Patagonia, and a whole lot more. And while you're there, don't miss the shoes, decorative pieces, classic and new books, and Auburn and Alabama gear that won't cost you a fortune. So stop and shop at Lifesavers Mission Thrift Store today for a unique thrift experience that won't break the budget. Lifesavers Mission Thrift, located on East University behind Zaxby's.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell, and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today, Lake Area Realty, at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Hi, this is Andrew McGreer at Dunning Roofing. At Dunning Roofing, we specialize in high-quality, premium roofs. We don't build roofs that just meet code requirements. We build quality roofs with premium materials that significantly exceed our competitors' warranties. We put money on your roof, not in our pockets. If you're looking for a top-quality roof, call Dunning Roofing today for your free quote at 256-307-7601 or visit us at DunningRoofingAL.com for more information.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke here with you. Closing things out to 9 o'clock, just a couple more segments. Still time to get a phone call in. 256-234-6221. Auburn up 28-25, it looks like. So moving down toward that 5-minute mark in the first half. Good game, but Auburn holding their own for sure. All right, some interesting games coming up this week. As I mentioned, some good games in the SEC. Outside the SEC, meh. And I say that, and I didn't even have the heart to put this game on here, Luke. Miami at Florida State. That used to be one of the highlights of the year. Now you look at it and go, good grief.
Yeah, and feel bad for Miami a little bit, but I'm going to tell you something. Florida State has got like a massive recruiting weekend. They got K.J. Bolden's going to be there. They got Cam Coleman's going to be there. They got some dudes. Florida State's going to be a problem. And they've got Alabama on the schedule in, I think, 2 years. I think they rotate on the Alabama schedule.
All right, Duke at North Carolina. A couple of weeks ago, this might have.
That's this weekend?
That's this weekend. It's a little early this year, but I don't know if Riley Leonard's playing. I'm assuming he may not be because North Carolina's a 14-point favorite.
You hate it because it'd be nice to see Drake May take on Riley Leonard. That'd be a good matchup. But, I guess I'm going to say North Carolina, but shoot, they've been stinking it up a little bit.
Yes, they have.
So,
and Duke got they beat Wake Forest. So,
I'm still going to go North Carolina.
Yeah, I would too. Number 18, Utah, is at number 5, Washington. Washington, the Huskies are a 9.5-point favorite.
All right.
In this one. But look, Utah's a tough out.
It's not going to shock me if Utah wins this. Washington's been flirting with disaster. I know they ended up beating USC by 10, but, man, they just didn't look all that good. USC's defense is so bad that they fired their defensive coordinator. So they're so bad, and Washington scored on them a lot. That's true. Everybody scores on them. So the fact that they couldn't do anything with USC's offense scares me a little bit. And I go back to the Arizona State game. If it hadn't been for like an 86-yard interception return by Washington late in the third, Arizona State probably wins that game in Seattle. So I'm just not sold on Washington.
Nor should you be, I wouldn't think. But here's another one, speaking of not sold and firing their defensive coordinator. Number 20, USC, is at number 6, Oregon. Oregon, the Ducks, a 16.5-point favorite. Can you rise up if you're USC? Wouldn't be surprised.
Did you see Caleb Williams go in the stands and start crying with his mom and, they put the paper over his so you couldn't see the tears? And look, part of me is like, hey, that's college and these are kids and whatever. Part of me is like, Caleb Williams also the guy who really clowned on a lot of other guys showing emotion. I can't remember who it was for maybe TCU, but somebody. And, it's just USC just should be better. And I would love to think that they're going to give Oregon a game. Oregon's going to score at will, I believe.
I think that's probably true. Michigan is at number 11, Penn State. Michigan is a 4.5-point favorite on the road.
Justice says Penn State wins this game. Right.
That rarely works out.
I know, and it's going to suck because Michigan's probably going to win. I'm pulling with everything I got for Penn State. I'm pulling for Penn State like they're Alabama, partially because it would help Alabama, but partially because Michigan just doesn't deserve to be in the national championship picture, if you ask me, and I feel like that this needs to happen.
We'll go ahead and take a break. We'll come back. We'll wrap these up and wrap up the show right after this.
At C&T Electric, our clients are our priority. For the safety and security of your family and home, our technicians are professionally trained, drug tested, background checked, and wear uniforms with name tags. We're proud to have served the Elk City, Dadeville, and Lake Martin areas for the past 10 years. Give us a call at 256-234-0007 for all your electrical service and repair needs, or visit us on the web at www.cntelectricllc.com and spell out the word "and."
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba-dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.
The food at Oscar's Cafe makes your mouth water. At Oscar's, enjoy great tasting catfish, or maybe you're just in the mood for one of Oscar's fresh salads. Even kids know the place for a fine meal is Oscar's with a great kids menu. Oscar's also has great tasting burgers full of backyard flavor. So come on out to Oscar's Cafe for great food and homegrown hospitality. We're located on Highway 49 South in Dadeville, just before the Blue Creek Bridge. And remember, it's all fun and games till there's only one cheese ball left.
Life is a sequence of little successes. The story of my Southern Union success began the day I walked on campus, making new friends, mastering a new skill, reaching a personal goal, the encore performance, the first date, the internship, and now, soon, the dream job. That's the story of my Southern Union success. Register for classes and get ready to watch your Southern Union story come to life.
The Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro continues to excel in making sure our clients have a smooth and pleasant experience with home financing needs. Families are struggling to make ends meet due to price increases and high interest rates on credit cards. Monthly debt can cripple a family from enjoying the special times in life. Property values are holding strong, and now is the time to take advantage of the equity in your home, saving hundreds of dollars a month. No money out of pocket and no payment until January 2024. Call the Eric McKinley team at Mortgage Pro today.
Lake Area Realty specializes in Lake Martin real estate. They can help simplify your next real estate purchase or sell and have helped many home buyers and sellers through the area buy and sell real estate with precision. Lake Area Realty utilizes powerful marketing tools and knowledge of the lake to help you with your next move. Call your local hometown agency today, Lake Area Realty, at 256-825-4800. That's 256-825-4800. Lake Area Realty, helping you find your way home.
Welcome back, everyone, to Sports Blitz Live. Andy and Luke closing things out, our final segment of the evening. Looking at some predictions for this upcoming weekend. Florida is at LSU. LSU's a 14-point favorite.
Yeah, if Jaden Daniels plays, I think it's going to be all LSU. But if Jaden Daniels doesn't play, it's going to be close.
I would agree.
I'm assuming he's playing. I've not heard anything that makes me think he's not.
Interesting, number 17, Tennessee, on the road at number 12, Mizzou. Identical records. Tennessee, an early 1-point favorite on the road.
Yeah, I'm going to lean Tennessee. I mean, if you're Mizzou, you have to be a little bit crestfallen. But if you're Tennessee, maybe you're looking ahead because you got Georgia at home next week.
I could see that. Number 10, Ole Miss is at number 2, Georgia. 8-1 versus 9-0 here. The Dogs, a 10.5-point favorite.
I don't even know what I want to happen as an Alabama fan. I'm guessing I want Georgia to win because you want Georgia to look as good as humanly possible if you want to have a chance to get in the playoffs. But I can't help but pull for Ole Miss a little bit.
Can they both lose? No. Number 8, Alabama is a 10.5-point favorite on the road at Kentucky. 11 o'clock, this is a 10.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I think Kentucky's going to
– it's sneaky.
Sneaky and sleepy.
11.
I'm going to be there. I'm looking forward to it. I've been to Kentucky a few times. Kroger Field is nice. Commonwealth Stadium. I'm going to I'm going to say Alabama wins. I'm going to say they cover, but sort of a backdoor cover, like they're winning by 10, and maybe they get a pick six or a scoop and score late or something.
I think that's probably about right. All right, Auburn at Arkansas. Arkansas is an early 3-point favorite in this one. I said the numbers say it's a 1-point win for Auburn. I don't trust the numbers, but
yeah,
Auburn has yet to play a decent road game yet this year.
Yeah, and I think Auburn has gotten better, but they have played the two worst teams in the conference. And I still think there's a lot left there. Boy, if Arkansas hadn't fired Dan Enos and looked pretty good against Florida, I'd say I think this is Auburn no contest. But I feel like Arkansas is going to show up in this game. I think it's going to be 21-20, something like that. I wouldn't bet on it, but 21-20, one of the two. I don't even want to make a prediction. I mean,
if
honestly,
this was a home game, I would pick Auburn,
by 10 or
comfortably.
so.
Yeah. On the road, I just don't have any confidence in Auburn being able to. They just have not shown that they can do it. Now, as I said earlier this week, strange things happen in football, and things happen out of the blue that you don't expect. So Auburn could, rise up and play their best game, 4 quarters, and go there and win that game. I hope that they do. But I got to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
So I think probably 3-point.
I think it's a good spread because if you get 3 points for the home field advantage.
Yeah.
And, I mean, frankly, I think these two teams are pretty evenly matched. I think Auburn's roster's better, but I don't know if their chemistry is.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, Auburn brought in a bunch of new people. And Arkansas's got a definite advantage at quarterback. The problem is Arkansas hadn't been using that advantage until recently. I mean, KJ Jefferson's a good quarterback. Rocket Sanders is a good running back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's going to be a close game. That's going to be a fun one. I'm looking forward to when I get back from the Kentucky-Alabama game, wherever we go. I hope we go to a sports bar and park and watch that one.
38-32, Auburn leading right now, getting close to halftime. I think at under 2 minutes right now to play. So Baylor firing away from 3 and looked to be kind of dominating the boards early in that one, which you might have expected a little bit. They are a very physical team, but again, Auburn with a lead and maybe poised to take an even larger lead as we move toward halftime. We'll see. But anyway, anything else? Any grievances tonight that we would like to?
No, I'm ready for. It's hard to believe that playoffs are here for college school and that college football is winding. I mean, after this game, next week is the cupcake weekend for SEC. I mean, you got Georgia at Tennessee, but I mean, you got Bama playing Chattanooga, and you got Auburn playing whoever they're playing, New Mexico State, and it just, I mean, I hate that weekend because it means it's almost over.
That's just true. Any thoughts on an early 7A, 6A, 5A matchups or anything you'd like to see?
I mean, yeah, I think that. Look, I live in Mountain Brook now, so I mean, and I know a bunch of people on this team. Cole Gamble is a running back on that squad. Cole Gamble is a special player. I would love to see Mountain Brook make a run again, but do I think Mountain Brook can beat Saraland? I don't. Do I think Clay Chalkville could beat Saraland? I don't know, but I think it'd be a better game. And Clay Chalkville did beat Thompson, so that's got to count for something. I think we all want to see a Clay Chalkville Saraland. I think if we saw Thompson, Central Phoenix City, I think we'd all be pretty excited there too.
Yeah.
But
I think about possibly a Real-Town BB Comer semifinal to see who gets to play Fife.
Oh my God.
That could be really, really interesting.
Fife,
that could be a lot of fun.
Fife has 2 losses this year, don't they?
I think they got 1. I don't know. Did they get beat again? They got beat like the first game of the year. They've been killing
and remember,
people
it was
Lou Vart. No,
we were like, what is
Geraldine or something like that.
Crazy. But yeah, so I love the playoffs. It's going to be a lot of. I hope BRHS makes a run. I think BRHS is, they got a pretty good draw. They don't play
Sidley Lanier to start things off. Right?
I think they can handle that.
Did they bump it up to Thursday?
They did. It's going to be Thursday night. So I'm going to be listening to that on my way up to the Kentucky game. So I know Brett and Randy will do a great job there, and looking forward to that game. Just the playoffs, high school playoff football in Alabama. I mean, there's really just not a lot like it.
I would agree for sure. It's going to wrap it up for us on this edition of Sports Blitz Live. We appreciate all of you out there so much each and every Tuesday evening. Be sure to tune into the Auburn Blitz tomorrow, 12 to 1, right here on this station. Oh, we'll call that a night. He's Luke Robinson. I'm Andy Graham. So long for now, everybody. We'll talk again soon.
Have you met your local Farmers Insurance agent, Patrick Holina? He proudly serves Tallapoosa County and Alexander City families and businesses and is ready to review your existing policies or provide a no-obligation quote today. Call the Holina Agency at 256-234-0037 or stop in today at 704 Commerce Drive to get smarter about your insurance. Again, that's the Holina Agency, 256-234-0037.
We are farmers. Bum, ba, dum, bum, 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 bum.
Underwritten by Farmers Truck Fire Insurance Exchanges and Affiliates. Products not available in every state.